Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is part 2 of Montessori for 1 to 2-year-olds, and this part is all about practical life activities and practical life skills. So I'm going to be covering practical life in the areas of self-care, in the areas of things like cooking and cleaning and chores and all that kind of lovely stuff that toddlers like to get involved in. There's actually a real lot of stuff that kids can do when they turn 1, and especially get up to the age of 2. So yeah, I'm going to talk you through all the things that we did at that age, in my childminding setting as well as with my daughter, and hopefully give you lots of ideas of the type of things that you can do on a practical life level with your young toddler. So the first thing I would say about practical life is I learnt this very early on when I started to kind of introduce more practical life activities to my daughter, is that it's really all about just inviting your child to participate, but participation is just not kind of a requirement. It's not something that they are forced to do. It's just about kind of inviting them to do these things and giving them the option and making it as simple and easy for them. That comes from the environment, and just kind of like giving them that kind of choice. To be honest, it's all about, in Montessori, it's all about that autonomy, giving them the independence and abilities to be able to do these kind of things. And yeah, it's just about free will. You know, if they want to, then totally cool, and you'll kind of be there to support and help. And if they don't want to, then that's totally fine too. I think I did go through a stage where she was really helping me a lot, doing lots of cleaning up her spills and lots of like loading the washing machine with me. And then it went through a period of no, you know, when toddlers get to that stage where they're like, no, and that kind of changed. But I think it was a difficult transition because my expectation didn't change with it. So I kind of expected her to do it because she was doing it all the time. And then all of a sudden she's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And I was kind of like, oh, but what? But you do that now. And yeah, I kind of went through a stage where I was a bit like, what? And yeah, so I think the best thing that I would kind of, my piece of advice would be to don't expect them to do anything. And if they decide that they want to, then bonus, you know, great, they're going to be learning from it. It's something you can do together and kind of connect with one another. But yeah, if they don't, that's totally fine. So my second piece of advice would be to kind of make it as easy as possible for them to be able to carry out the task. So for example, you know, if you want them to come and do cutting and chopping with you and you ask them to, then you don't want to kind of be struggling with really heavy knives or things that aren't safe, or kind of if they can't get up to the worktop to do it with you. You kind of want to design your area so that it makes it easy for them. You know, child-sized tools, steps to get up and reach places, child-size, you know, knives and things, gardening tools, brushes, you know, all that kind of thing. Easy to access cloths for wiping spills. Yeah, the easier you make it, and if everything has a place and they know where to find it, then you've got more chance of them actually kind of carrying out the task, especially more kind of independently and off their own back as well. So yeah, I'll go into kind of a bit more detail later on in the video about how we kind of make it easy for her to do these kind of things, and the kind of tools and things that we have, just to give you some ideas. Yeah, and the third thing is expectations. I know I mentioned that on the first one, but yeah, expectations is a big one. Don't stress yourself out about them not doing things. Don't expect anything, you know, of your toddler, because they have days where they're totally into everything and they want to be right at your side and doing everything you do, and they listen and they take it all on board. And then you have days where they're super impatient and they get frustrated really easily, and they don't kind of listen very well, so they're not doing it the way that you kind of instruct them or, you know, advise them on how to do it. And then you have days where they're just not interested, where they're like, no, I don't want to do it. And if you've got these expectations that they're by your side helping you out and doing this and doing that, and then suddenly they're not, then you're just going to get annoyed and stressed out about it. And that's kind of not the point really. So yeah, I kind of try and let go of those expectations and just be totally chilled about it. And it kind of helps me to feel a little bit more leveled and less kind of stressed and annoyed. And then the last thing is to, if it's a new activity that you haven't shown them before, then just really kind of slow it down and take your time to model how it's supposed to be done so that they can be more successful when they give it a try. In Montessori, they do talk about, or Maria Montessori talks about, kind of showing with your hands and not really talking, because then if you're talking, you're kind of taking away from their focus on the actual task in hand and what you're doing. So they might be looking at you rather than looking at your hands, and you want them to be looking so you can show them. So yeah, I try and do that with some activities, like loading the washing machine obviously has different steps. So you need to kind of open the door, you need to put the clothes in, you need to shut the door, and then you need to open the drawer and put the kind of detergent in, and then the buttons and everything. So there's a lot for a toddler to learn. And at first, when they're younger, it might just be about loading the washing machine and nothing else. And then as they get kind of older, you'll add in those steps and they'll be able to complete the full task, you know, from start to finish with you. But yeah, it's just about kind of slowing it down and not making it too complicated or too challenging for a younger toddler. Because if it's too challenging, they'll just walk away. They'll be like, oh, this is too, you know, I'm not doing this, it's too difficult kind of thing. And they'll lose interest really quickly as well, because young toddlers don't have a lot of focus or attention span. So yeah, it's about kind of breaking it down as slowly as possible. So if you were going to show them how to wipe up a spill, you just kind of show them where the cloth was and say, this is your cloth and we keep it here. And then you'd kind of slowly show them how to kind of mop it up. And then when they're done, put it back. So let's go on with the video. I'm going to give you some really good examples of practical life, and hopefully that will help you in doing this kind of things at home.
So this is Mia at 17 months loading the washing machine. At that age she would pretty much load it and shut the door and that's it. And then as she got older we kind of introduced more steps like adding the detergent, which obviously involves pouring, etc. So she's 18 months here and she was loading the toaster at 18 months and then working on kind of pushing that button down on the side, which did take quite a bit of practice. And then she really loves spreading and buttering her toast, so we get her a really small knife and then make sure she could get up to the worktop as well. So here she's helping me make a cake and she's mashing a banana, so that's quite an easy thing to do for kind of 17-18 months. And then mixing as well, so big mixing spoon or spatula is something they love to get involved in. So chopping is a really fun one from kind of 12 months upwards. You'll see here we've got these choppers, which is just a push down kind of motion, so it's quite simple for them to do, just takes a bit of strength. And then as they get older you can introduce more of like a toddler knife. Oh yeah, I'll show you these and link them below for you.
So this is her little kind of toddler kitchen, and in here I keep all of her kind of plates and bowls and cups, and then like utensils and things like that. So another activity which they can do kind of from year and a half is they can help you to kind of load it and unload it. So if you've done the washing up, you can kind of show them where everything goes and they can help you, hello, they can help you put it all back. So yeah, you can kind of take, I've got this little tray for the knives and forks, so she can kind of help you dry those and put them away, and then your child learns where everything goes, and it's all child kind of level, so it's really easy for them to access. And then on here we sometimes do chopping and preparing of breakfast and things. So what I'll usually do is she will get her bowl out, I'll put a box of cereal with a scoop, and then it's really easy for her to put her cereal in. And then we have a child-sized jug as well, which is here. And then I'll fill that with some milk, and then she can pour and take it through to the table. So there's lots of different steps, but from a young age you can kind of show them where things go, and they can easily get to things and access things on their own without you having to to get everything for them. So then wiping up spills, on the side of her kitchen I put some of these cloths, and then I kind of sewed on a little loop so it could easily be put onto a hook. So she was able to do this from maybe about 1 with practice. And then, yeah, if she has a spill, she knows where to come. I kind of remind her, you know, oh, we've made a spill, you know, where's the cloth, or where do we keep it? And then she'll come and kind of get it. And then I usually encourage her to put it back, even if it's wet, because then I'll kind of come along and wash it or replace it, and she doesn't have to worry about it. But yeah, she knows where to come and where to put it back. It's just nice to have one place for everything. So if you've got a cupboard like this, if you don't want to have a hook, then you could put a cloth in the cupboard and they could easily get to it and know where it is. And then for brushing teeth, we kind of keep her toothbrush and her toothpaste in here. And then she has a little step so she can get up to reach, and then I put a mirror which is a bit lower down because she can't quite see the mirror up here. But yeah, it just means that she can brush her teeth in the sink, and she's kind of independent and she can reach everything. So in her bedroom we've got a little mirror and a little stool, and then I just leave a brush on here. It's one that she can grab hold of with her whole hand, and then before bed she can brush her hair, and in the morning she can brush her hair as well. But yeah, something like this. I've seen some people that put a shelf and put kind of hairbrush and things like that on there, but everybody's kind of different. Are you going to try that one? Okay. Keep washing them though, got to give them a good rinse, okay? You're eating as well? So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Enjoy your practical life activities. They're always the most fun part of Montessori for me. I love to have a little helper at my side, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, because you know kids don't really focus for very long. But yeah, a couple of minutes just to chop 3 mushrooms or help me do some sweeping or something. I really love having her kind of with me while I'm doing these kind of things. It's really fun. So yeah, hopefully that's been helpful and giving you some ideas. And yeah, I'll see you in part 3, which is going to be Montessori for 1 to 2 year olds, but we're going to talk about the environment. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And if you're new here, do check out my other videos. Thank you for watching.